What's up, everyone? All right, well, you can see it is still October. It's drizzling. This is the third day of rain, third day in a row. And it's also my third green day in a row. October means momentum. So I'm now up $7,500 on the week, $7,500 on the month. The goal is to be up $10,000 by the end of day tomorrow. So $2,500 is the goal, and with the momentum we're seeing, it's definitely doable. All right, so I'll see you guys in the chat room. Questions, comments, leave them below, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the day. All right, everyone, so we're gonna do our midday market recap here, go over the trades from today. 4 trades, 2 winners, 2 losers, so only 50% accuracy, but still up $656.35. The market right now is down about 90 points. It was down closer to 300 earlier today. As you can see, the market broke the 200 moving average and sold off. We had this kind of big drop here right around 10 a.m. And when that happened, I kind of shut it down for the day because I sort of felt like, well, with the overall market dropping this much after the big drop the last 2 days, things might get a little ugly here. So I don't want to, I just going to step back and kind of see what happens. And then things ended up, you know, it's bounced back up, but we haven't seen anything else really hit the high day momentum scanner. So as always, my routine right around 9 a.m. I come on and I start breaking down my watch list based on this gap scanner right here. Now what's interesting is that PDSB was our second leading gapper, up 26%, and that's a stock I made $1,000 on. But I didn't see it on the list pre-market because it didn't have any volume pre-market. PDSB. It actually was kind of funny because there was like no volume pre-market, and then the bell rang and it simply opened 26% higher. So it's sort of a surprise gapper. So as I was breaking down the watch list this morning, my first one that I was looking at was SFET. However, this doesn't meet the criteria for home run potential for a couple of reasons. But the first is that it's too cheap. Now, on the one hand, you could say, hey, a cheap stock like 75 cents, you know, if it goes up to 82 cents, you just made 10%, right? And that is true. However, I want you guys to remember the fact that stocks under $1 trade down to the 1/100th of a penny. So this right now is 0.6320. So if I actually pull up SFET, you can see how you have the decimal point and then 4 digits. So you know, I can't think of any 000 stocks off the top of my head, but the lowest a stock can trade is 0.0001 by 0.0002. And so that's the very bottom of the barrel. Those are 000 stocks. They have 3 zeros before the first digit. But a stock like SFET, for it to go from 75 cents to 82 cents is not 7 ticks. So with a regular stock above $1, each tick would be 1 cent. So it goes up 7 increments and you're up 7 cents. So from $1 to $1.07, only 7 steps to get there, and the stock will be up 7%. However, with a 75-cent stock, to go from 75 cents up to 82 cents, even though it's only 7 cents, same amount of cents, because they trade down to the 1/100th of a penny, technically that's 700 ticks. Now, typically, a penny stock like this won't actually trade at the 100th, even though it can. Like this is trading on the 1/8 of a penny up to the full penny. So there's a 0.2 of a penny spread right now on SFET. But even still, that means you'd have more like 70 ticks between 75 cents and 82 cents, or maybe 35 ticks. And so what I've generally found is that once you're below $1, although you can get bigger percentage moves, the stocks actually slow down a little bit. And then once they break the dollar, they speed up as the minimum tick is 1 cent. So stocks start to move faster. And then of course, between the $2 and $3 and $6 and $8 range, you'll see stocks jump up 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 cents very quickly. And we saw that today on PDSB. So SFET was not something I was interested in. I saw it on the gap scanner, but right away was not interested. OBLN, you can see here I traded OBLN, lost $400, and NNVC I also traded and lost 300. So these were the two that were actually on my watch list, OBLN and NNVC. We'll start by looking at NNVC because this was the first one that I traded. Actually, no. Wait, now I can't remember. In any case, I traded them both around the same time, so that's fine. We can look at this one first. So NNVC has a catalyst, is a somewhat recent reverse split, and has been selling off for a little bit. What I didn't love about it was that I knew it was going to come into resistance at the 9, the 20, and eventually the 200 moving average. But really, the resistance in this level was a little concerning. So I thought, well, if it gets above 3, then it starts to look good. But, you know, right now it's at $2.30. The bell rings, it drops down a little bit, it goes sideways, and right here, I took a trade on it. So this was a break of the opening range. This is a 1-minute opening range breakout. So I was in right here at 28. It hits a high of 36. So I was up, I don't know, 8 cents or whatever. Not a home run, but, up a little bit. And I had my order ready at 240 to add to the position. It doesn't hit 240. It ends up dropping right back down. And I stopped out. I hit the bid and lost $317. So first trade of the day, I'm in the red. Same as yesterday. Now, yesterday I finished up $1,300, but my first 2 trades were in the red. So, not exactly the way I wanted to. Oops, and let me just change my bit rate here. Not exactly the way I wanted to start the morning, but, it is what it is. So, got stopped out on NNVC, and I didn't trade it again. OBLN, the second gapper I had on watch. So I was watching both of these side by side. This one, out of the gates, it did break this pre-market high of 215, but as it was breaking that right as the bell rang, I saw some 10,000 share sellers, and I kind of was not sure it was going to work, and so I just hesitated. It hit a high of 224. It then drops all the way back down to 2, and then it rips back up right here. I got back in at 215, anticipating a break over 220 and then a break over the highs. Again on this one, from 214, 215 entry, it hits a high of 223. I'm up 9 cents per share, but I was looking for it to break the high and squeeze up towards 230, 240, maybe 250. It came right back down, and on that one I stopped out for a $400 loss. All right, so that's 2 back-to-back red trades, and I'm down $700 on the day. Now, my max loss on the day right now is about $2,000. I have a $5,000 hard stop on my account. If I'm down more than $5,000, I literally cannot take any more trades. My account is locked, and that's for capital preservation purposes. I have that. But if I'm down more than $2,000, I usually get pretty cautious about taking another trade. So after those 2 trades, 2 losses, down $700. So I'm not at my daily max loss. However, I also follow the 3 strikes, you're out rule, which means if I have 3 back-to-back losers, I'm done for the day. So to start the day with 2 losers means, I've got one swing left. And if I strike out, then I'm done for the day with 3 losses. Even if I haven't hit my max loss, the fact that I've had 3 losses in a row is, again, capital preservation. I'm not on my game. Maybe it's the market. Maybe it's me. Doesn't really matter. 3 losses in a row, I'm out. And then I took this trade on CBIO. Now, CBIO was kind of interesting. The first, I didn't take CBIO before PDSB popped up. So PDSB hits the scanner 417, 413, and 426, 426. So I quickly type right here, PDSB. And then I go over here, PDSB. And by the time I was ready to press Shift 1, it was already halted. It was already getting halted at 462. So it spikes up from 376 to 462. I mean, that's a 30% spike. And just like instantly takes off. All right, so now I'm very interested. I take a look at the news headline, and the headline is that they shares surge as investee PDS Inc. and Merck and company whatever that they'll collaborate with the healthcare giant Merck and Company. All right, so when I saw that collaboration with a big company, that's almost always a strong catalyst. So I'm looking at it. I'm not in it yet, but I'm watching to get in on resumption from the halt. So I end up taking that trade. But meanwhile, CBIO starts popping up. And CBIO is another biotech stock, same sector, with a catalyst, with a decent daily chart starting to turn around. And so as I see it squeezing up right here, it breaks over 550. And I jumped in. I pressed the buy button 3 times, but I only filled 700 shares. It squeezes up to a high of 590. And as it was going into the halt on this one, I decided to sell my 700 shares. I was like, I'm not, I mean, you know, it's up 40 cents. I want to focus on PDSB. And since I only got a partial fill, I'm going to sell a partial fill because I'm not going to be able to get any more shares. It's about to get halted. So I'm going to sell my partial fill and then focus on PDSB coming out of the halt. I don't like to usually be in 2 circuit breaker halts at the same time unless I'm very confident that we're in a super strong market. So I took my 50 cents and $297 of profit. Now that ended up being a good decision because on resumption of PDSB, it squeezed up. I made 1,000, but then it dropped way down. Then when CBIO resumes, it follows suit and also drops down. And so this would have been probably a break-even trade or maybe a loss if I had held instead of sell going into the halt. And that was just sort of the luck of the draw. So anyways, PDSB, this one comes out of the halt and it opens at 478. It dips down for a second and surges up. And I pressed the buy button 3 times. Boom, 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 boom. I got filled, I think, 8,000 shares, partial fills. It pops up, so I'm in, getting in the 80s. It then pops up over 5, which was my goal, to see a break of 5. It hits 511, and I sell half at 508, and then it starts to dip down a little bit more, so I hit the bid at, I think, 501 or something like that. And then it flushes back down to 450. It pops up for a second. I sell a little bit on the ask, and then it drops down, and I sell the rest at 438, 440, and 436, which was pretty nasty. So this big rejection, you know, and this move up is kind of what triggered CBIO. And then when it came back down, you know, that was bad for CBIO. And this sort of was, you know, right at 953, 954, and then the bell rang, or then we had this big drop on the S&P 500, and I was just like, all right, you know what? We're not seeing very good follow through, so I'm going to step back for a second. And I'm just fortunate that I got myself out of the red and into the green. So now I'm watching the high day momentum scanner, waiting to see if anything else is going to hit it. SES hits the scanners. I did trade this one yesterday. I made $1,000 on it. But it didn't end up holding up super well yesterday. It double topped at 285 daily resistance and then ended up closing red. So I wasn't interested in going back in for another trade on that one. PDSB back on the scanner coming out of the halt. VIVE, this one hits the scanner and total rejection. It hits a high of 427 and then drops to 375, all in one candle, hitting the 200 moving average. So that was no good, and then nothing else has hit the scanner. So, you know, I just am basically at my point in the day where nothing else is working and nothing is really hitting the scanner. So I got 4 trades, only 50% accuracy, but I'm green because my winners were bigger than my losers, my average winners, right? $1,300 in profit divided by 2, you know, $650 average winner. Average loser today was about 350. So that's almost a 2-to-1 profit loss ratio, which means even with just 50% accuracy, I can be profitable. And that sets the bar really low, right? I mean, if you can be wrong half the time and still make money trading, you're doing really well. And it's possible as long as your winners are bigger than your losers. Now, generally, I try to have bigger winners than losers. And this month so far, it's been working well. And that's been in part because I've been focusing on A quality setups. All right, so that's about it for me here today. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Third day of October and 3 consecutive green days for me. Try to finish off the week tomorrow, Friday, Wild Card Friday, with 1 more green day. So I have a really nice, solid start to the month. I'm going to put this in my calendar here and make it official. Well, I guess I'll have to find a pen before I can make it official. But anyway, sitting here now up $7,500 or so on the month, which is nice progress. Not bad for 3 days in. All right, so I hope you guys have a great afternoon, and I'll see you all tomorrow morning. If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.